Your dreams will come true if your mind isn't glued to the fact that life is so blue.
Hi there, it's Sandy and AnaLynne here, and welcome to the Sandy and Friends podcast. Today we're talking with Johnny Ray Miller. Hi, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Hi, AnaLynne.
Hi.
You were speechless, really?
Just a little bit.
I'm speechless to meet you. I'm so honored.
To me, who's he talking to?
Oh, am I not talking to a descendant of Farrah Fawcett in the 70s, right? I mean, you got the blonde hair, you're in love with the 70s.
Okay, you know what? I can get on board with that. I like this.
Can you?
Yes, I can. I dig it.
I mean, you need to curl the hair a little. She had like the flip, but.
Yeah, that's her fault. Yes, everything's going to be my fault for the next, 40 minutes, hour?
That's how it goes.
Yes. Okay, so, Johnny Ray Miller, you already know who this guy is, but I'm just letting you know he wrote this book, When We're Singin. He's worked for the Partridge Family. He's a pretty groovy guy. Check it out. Oh, you know what? To start with, where can people get your book, Johnny?
At whenwe'resingin.com.
And you better do it, or else. Yes, or else. Okay, AnaLynne, start us off. So where did your involvement with the Partridge Family begin? Obsession.
The obsession started when I was about your age, actually. Right, very young. And I would watch the show, and the show just grabbed me, and the music kept me going. So I was really more in love with the music than the show. And so, I would collect the albums. I would listen to these records for what would be forever, really. Even in my high school era, growing up and hitting high school in the 80s, I was still stuck in the 70s listening to the Partridge Family. So, yeah, the music lived on for me. And as an adult, I went into the theater and I became a theater manager, theater director, actor, that kind of thing. And at one point, I had this dream to try to bring David Cassidy into the theater that I ran. And this was in 2009. And so, long story short, it happened and he came and the concert was a blast. It was phenomenally successful for the theater. David was thrilled with it. And at that point, he said, I'll work with you anytime. So, yeah, I know. Pinch me now, right? So I left the theater, and it was sometime after that I was just kind of sitting around, kind of silently complaining that nobody ever writes a book about the Partridge Family. It's always the Brady Bunch. It's never the Partridge Family. So I just had this idea, and I just started to kind of work towards it. And I kind of thought, well, I think David Cassidy will get behind this. And he did. And then the next piece of it was Shirley Jones, and she got behind it. And, with the two of them behind it, I always describe it as a snowball going downhill. It just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so several years later, I had this book with over 100 people that I had interviewed. And a friend of mine had suggested that I run a Kickstarter campaign so that I could fund it and control the whole process myself. So we ran a Kickstarter campaign in 2015 and we won. And that's how the whole ball got rolling.
I feel like I just went through this whole journey with you.
Isn't it amazing? I know. Every time I tell it, I relive it and I just can't believe it still.
I want to live it.
Well, you can. It will live on now with your podcast forever, right?
Oh my God, he's right. Oh my God, I feel like I've just made a large impact in the world by talking to you. AnaLynne. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you're so cute, AnaLynne.
Look at what you've done to her.
I think I have a crush.
AnaLynne, I don't know what you just did to her, but
I know.
Johnny.
Hi.
Hi.
A kiss on the cheek for you.
What are you doing to her?
I know. I need to stop flirting.
Oh my goodness. Oh, he's not looking at me, is he? Oh, okay, thank goodness. Oh my gosh. I think I'm gonna ask the next question. Oh my god. Oh. So let's back up a bit. What gave you an interest in working as a director and a producer in the theater?
I took an interest in theater when I was in high school and went to Kent State University to study theater. And initially, I just was interested in being an actor, but as so many actors go, you take interest in the other aspects of it. So directing became a thing. And I started to direct here and there in community theaters. And then after college, I got this job as the executive director of a community theater. And I just stayed there. And it was really fun. And it's a thrill and a privilege to bring theater to a community. It's always a privilege to bring the arts into a community, especially small towns that don't have a lot of arts. So, there was a lot of personal reward in that. Any small town that has a little community theater is a great way for young people who are interested in the arts, especially to get their first taste of it, to get involved and, meet a lot of people, kind of figure out what it's all about. And it's great for the community. It brings a little culture to the community. It's a good thing. AnaLynne, what about you? Have you ever done anything in the theater?
No, it's her fault. She makes me follow her around. She's just constantly on my tail. Ugh. Yeah, that's kind of the way it has to work. What are you trying to say? I don't think we should get into this right now. Johnny, was David's hair as great in real life as it was on TV?
David had hair like no other, right? Every girl wanted it. Every boy wanted to have it. And nobody, who could touch the David Cassidy hair? Nobody.
Oh man, and you got to be in its presence?
Aren't I lucky? I know. It's unbelievable. I should have snuck up on him from behind and clipped a piece and, glued it on or something, right?
Why didn't you?
Oh, I guess I'm kind of shy and timid on some level. I should have.
So shy.
So shy. I'm so shy, can't you tell?
Oh man, you realize how hard it is to not laugh and continue to breathe and speak with your mouth shut simultaneously?
No, I cannot imagine.
You're talking with your mouth shut? Oh no. Oh,
AnaLynne, you'll have to give her some lessons.
Really? I'm the ventriloquist here.
I know.
I make her talk.
I know, you need to make her talk. I know. She needs taught.
Oh my goodness.
You designed her really well though. I like the headband. You did a good job, AnaLynne.
Yeah, I think she looks okay today. I can't make her have a very good sense of humor. She's lacking in that area very much. I'm working on that. She's so sweet. I know. It's great. So what was it that initially made you want to act, though, in theater?
What made me initially want to act? I don't know, but I think the Partridge Family had an influence on that.
Oh, really?
You watch that show when you're a kid, right? And you see this wonderful, normal, loving family and they go out and they do show business together. I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
I do.
Right. It's, it was every kid's dream, right? So I would say that probably, had a little bit of an influence on me there. And then I don't know what makes you drawn to the arts when you get a little bit older. You're just interested, and you go in and you get a taste of it, and you kind of start to feel like you fit.
Yeah, I think the big attraction of the arts is that it's just so it's in abundance in everyday life. It's just surrounding you, whether you're just trying to get entertainment by watching TV or listening to music. So being a part of that is something really special, I think.
Oh yeah, it is very much. AnaLynne, do you dance?
Do I dance?
Yeah.
Gee, I don't know.
You look like a dancer. That's why I wondered.
I look like a dancer?
I call them like I see them.
Which dancer?
Which dancer? Oh, I don't know if I could come up with a specific one. But you just have the dancer look. I can just picture it. You should be on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh my goodness, I should be.
You should be.
I am.
You would win.
I really would. I would. Oh my goodness, I hope somebody out there is watching. They should
I hope so too.
Well,
AnaLynne, contest winner.
What did you say?
AnaLynne, contest winner.
Oh yes, thank you. Oh yes, I gratefully accept this award, and I'd like to thank me. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, she's not shy, is she, Sandy?
I'm very shy. Oh yes, so shy, and very humble too. Yes.
Humble.
So humble.
I see the humility.
The most humble in the okay, I'm gonna say that again. I am the most humble person in the entire world.
Wow. I'm shocked that you think that. But you certainly are cute. But still, we need a little curl, a little Farrah flip. You need a little bit of the Farrah flip going on.
Yes, Sandy. Okay, all right.
I mean, if we're going 70s here, right?
You're going about as 70s as you possibly can.
I know. I see behind you, and I love it.
Do you find my Zoom room to be, to your comfort, to your enjoyment?
Oh yes, I love the Queen. And
my guys.
You big on Queen?
Oh yes, they're my favorite. Oh my goodness.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh, they're your favorite. Be careful who you're talking to here.
Oh my God. No.
Busted. Busted.
Oh. I'm not gonna help her. Thank you.
And then I see the Partridge Family back there, though.
Oh yes, you. Oh my goodness.
I see the Sound Magazine, and I see Up to Date, and I see the Partridge Family album.
Oh yes, my mom came home with that one recently. I was totally freaked out by it. I was so happy.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's such a great album.
Yeah, great music. It's great music.
Right? Oh, you know what? That reminds me. I didn't write this down, but look at me thinking. What were your thoughts on the Partridge Family 2200 AD?
Nice try. In short, it's cool that they did that. It's cool that it's like something else that's out there. I don't think it really grabbed the audiences, the way that you kind of would have hoped it would have. It was based on the success of the Jetsons. So they wanted to have the Jetsons, they wanted to take that idea and put the Partridge Family in outer space. Not such a great idea, but it's cool that it's out there. And most of them did the voiceovers with the exception of David Cassidy and Shirley Jones. Susan Day did a couple of them, and then she stepped out.
Oh, really? Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I knew Danny was in it. He's got a very distinctive voice, so that was...
Yeah, he did. He talks about that in my book, too, how he didn't like doing voiceover work at that time because he was so used to being Danny for TV. And when he had to be Danny for cartoon, he had to overdo everything to the extreme, so that it felt so unnatural.
Oh, I never thought about that.
So he said it just wasn't for him.
Oh man, I can't even imagine how tough that must have been.
I know.
I mean, if you can't see David Cassidy, what's the point in watching?
Right, right.
Let's go back to you. Can you tell us about specifically some of your experiences acting?
Some of my experiences?
Yes. Let's hear it.
As an actor, boy, in community theater, I had done some really great plays. I had done The Crucible, which is a famous Arthur Miller play, and I had done Romeo and Juliet, and a chorus line. I was in that. West Side Story. Those were all some of my favorites as an actor in the theater. And then I did some, commercials and things like that back in the 90s, late 90s, that were mostly out of Cleveland and Pittsburgh, which I'm from Ohio. And then later I went out to LA and I poked around a little bit and did a little bit out there. But I was really fascinated with the directing of the theater. I by that point in time, I was just really interested in directing. And so I spent a lot of time, I directed a lot of shows. Gosh, I want to say over 100 probably.
Wow.
And then at that point, many of them that I had been in, I regurgitated on the stage and directed them, which was really fun.
Oh, it sounds like it. What's
It was.
your favorite part about directing?
What's hard about it?
What's your favorite part?
Oh, favorite part of it? That you have pretty much total creative control over all the choices that are made in how that show is going to be presented. So, let's say you want to do a show in a very offbeat kind of style, like, maybe you want to take some famous show and deliver it in black and white on the stage. So that poses all kinds of challenges with lighting and sets and how you paint them and the costumes to try to create an image of black and white on the stage. Taking concepts like that and putting that on the stage is a lot of fun for a director.
Oh, that sounds like a blast.
Let's say you want to take a play and you want to present it on the stage with some certain concept, like a cartoon. So then you have wild costumes and wild sets and everything gets painted, brightly and with animation. And so you're putting on this sort of lighthearted take on it. That's the kind of fun thing about directing, that you can put your own spin on the entire production, not just yourself. As an actor, it's fun to just be responsible, but nobody but yourself. That's nice, because all you have to do is do your thing, give the director what he wants. But when you're directing, you're responsible for everyone and everything. So.
Oh, that's really cool. I never even considered that, putting that embellishment on whatever it is that you're trying to convey to the audience. Like, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun.
So when you're searched up, I don't know if you realize this, it comes up with Johnny Ray Miller, actor, director, producer. So I want to know a little bit more about the producer part.
The producer part is basically, so you understand the actor part, and now you understand the director part. The producer part is the business behind all of it. So not only do you want, in this case, you want a good show, so you got to have a good director, you got to have good actors, but when you're producing it, you want it to sell tickets, you want to make money, you want to get people in the door, in the theater anyway. This is how it worked for me. So producing a show meant getting the interest out there to people, letting them know what's going on, getting people through the door, overseeing all of it, from the publicity, stepping in on the show and taking a peek and making sure it's all coming together, almost overseeing the director. Not always is it like that, but in my situation, where I worked in the two theaters that I ran, as the producer role or the executive director role, whatever title you want to put on it, it was about making sure that all the elements were coming together. So you're kind of overseeing the director even, but from a more of a business standpoint. When you're the director, you're overseeing it for its artistic credibility. You know, you're trying to make it the best show you can, but as the producer, you have to think about how you're going to sell it, how you're going to get people through the door, that kind of thing, making money.
Gee, that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it is, let me tell you. And you can burn out quick.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so bringing you full circle with the David Cassidy story, I was working at a theater and I brought him in. So I was kind of acting like a producer there. They call it a promoter in that sense. So I brought David in to do a show, and then it was my job, well, first to choose David, to bring him in, then to go out into the community and sell it and tell everybody David Cassidy's coming, you know, put out the PR, come up with all kinds of different ways. We did so many crazy things when that show happened. It was a small town. And if you're familiar with small towns, you know, a lot of times at Christmas, they play music in the downtown. In small towns around here where I live, often at Christmas time, they play Christmas music in the downtown, outside on the sidewalks when you walk in and out of the stores. So for the David Cassidy concert, we piped in David Cassidy music and Partridge Family music. And it was playing all through the downtown the day of the show. So that's kind of the things that we did for that.
I want to go to this town.
It was fun. It was a good time.
I can't imagine walking down, you know, town, just hearing, you know, hey, I think I love you. Oh.
Yes, it was. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And we drove David into the town from the airport, and we brought him through the downtown with the windows down so he could hear the music. Every storefront had posters in the window. We even had giant welcome signs all through the downtown. Welcome, David Cassidy. Yeah, he was blown away.
Did you drive him in on a colored bus?
I wish.
Then he could stick his head out the window, all the girls screaming.
I don't know how crazy he would have been about that.
Probably not very much. I've seen the movies.
Yeah.
Are you good at producing, Johnny?
Well, I hope I was. I guess, you know, I guess the legacy of whatever I left behind will speak for itself.
I think you should get back into it and make lean money.
I really.
What was your first impression of David Cassidy when you met him?
Oh, wow. Which time?
What does that mean?
I met him as a fan, you know, for the very first time when I was 18 years old.
Well, let's hear about that, and let's hear about you professionally, you know.
Okay. So when I was 18 years old, it was 1983. And by the way, I see your Air Supply album. Air Supply was very big in 1983. Yes. And David was doing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat on Broadway, and doing a tour of it too. So he had come to Akron, which was fairly close to where I lived. And I drove to Akron to see the show, and I met him afterwards. And of all things, I took one of my Partridge Family albums with me, and he signed my album for me. So that was extremely, you know, I'm sure, and you're so young, but I'm sure you've had these feelings of when you meet your hero, your childhood hero, how exciting that is. And to meet somebody in real life, in real time, rather than on television, and to, you know, to see them as a real person, it's very exciting especially when you're young.
I completely and utterly understand that.
Yeah, so, you know, that was the first time, and then throughout the years there would be other times. But whenever I had him in for the concert, that was a whole different thing, because now I'm working with him. But I'm still, you know, at that point, I'm still starstruck and fan crazy for him. And so, you know, it was a blast. I mean, I can't describe it other than a dream come true. It was really fun, really fun.
I can't even imagine. Oh
I
my
know.
gosh.
I sometimes can't imagine myself even after it happened. It was just so much fun.
Oh, that is so cool. So how often did you work with him? I mean, he said he'd work with you anytime.
Well, the next thing was the book. So after the concert, then I started the book, and he supported that. And in the end, he wrote the foreword for my book. And then you know, I was going to actually sell, I sold some of my books at his concerts, but then he quit touring and, you know, we lost him. It was about a year after the book came out, we lost him.
Oh,
So, yeah.
he was just so great. I mean, his voice, the words he would sing, the message that he brought. I mean, things
Yeah,
that
he
needs.
stood for a lot of, he stood for a lot of great things. He stood for a lot of great things in the work he did through charities, but especially through his music. If you listen to the music and the songs he himself wrote,
Yeah.
he tells you who he is and what he thinks and his take on everything through his music.
Yeah, he was a storyteller. And that's, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
fantastic.
He was a wonderful songwriter, and his voice was really like no other. His voice is very
no idea.
AnaLynne, I think she needs a David Cassidy poster, don't you think?
Yes.
You need a poster.
No oh, what are you doing there?
You know, I'm trying to wear her down. I'm gonna break you, AnaLynne.
I think you already have. Yep.
AnaLynne, you need to come over. We'll watch the Partridge Family together.
Yes, we have to.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes, let's do it.
Partridge slumber party.
That would be like the best thing ever, wouldn't it?
Oh, I know. Look who you're talking to. I know.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine what it must have been like to when the Partridge Family was airing for the first time. All the fans out there, imagine being able to just chat about them with your friends and stuff. Oh man. Oh.
You know, the truth is, for me, I was a little bit young actually for the first airing, so I only saw part of the first airing. By the time I found it, it was in the third season. So I became addicted by season 3, and then in order for me to see the other episodes back in those days, you know, in the old ancient caveman days, there was no way to record anything. And so the only way you were ever going to see them was through reruns, through television reruns. And so thank God for syndication, and they played them to death all the time. I remember it was on 3 different channels 3 times a night for several years, and I used to flip channels and watch all 3, you know, episodes every night.
That's like me trying to find a good song on a radio station.
Probably.
Just reminded me of that. My siblings don't ever let me sit in the front seat of the car, so I force them anytime they come for a drive with me. You know, they gotta go through the stations. Always the classic rock stations too.
AnaLynne, are you the one who gets the front seat in the car?
Always. In fact, sometimes I drive.
You're so spoiled.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And deservedly so, I must say.
I agree. Again, there's humility showing.
There's that humility showing again.
Of course, always. She just simply can't stop herself.
Yes, I see this.
You said that Shirley Jones backed this book. Oh my goodness, I love Shirley Jones. What's she like? Tell us.
She's fantastic. She is exactly what you see on the TV show. She is Shirley Partridge. She is just like that. And she even tells that in her interviews, that one of the things that appealed to her about the show was that she could relate so much. She had, you know, 3 boys at home at that point, and it was show business, and their family was in show business. And you know, she could relate to Shirley Partridge, and she tells that story a lot. You know, did you know she was offered the role of Mrs. Brady, and she turned it down?
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because she didn't see that it was anything new to her that she hadn't already done. You know, Mom with the roast coming out of the kitchen, that's the story she always tells, that she had already kind of done roles like that, but Shirley Partridge was different because of the music.
Oh yeah, she was working and she was
right.
Oh yeah. Oh,
you know, on the road with her kids singing and then trying to have a normal life, and she could relate to all of that.
Oh, I just think that's the coolest thing. Oh, she portrayed such a wonderful mother on the show. I love that.
I know. She's definitely became one of the great TV moms. Of course, for me, the greatest TV mom. But you know, we won't dismiss Mrs. Brady.
Which did you get to speak with and work with everyone that was on the show? All of the Partridges?
All of them except Susan Day. I spoke with all of the others, yeah, and they were all terrific. Everybody was just wonderful. Danny was as funny as he is on television, and I spoke. He was a hoot. In fact, one of my favorite stories in the book, I actually interviewed Danny the day after he did this concert with David Cassidy, and he did a concert with David Cassidy. And he learned how to play one Partridge Family song on the bass. Oh. And he came out on stage in crushed red velvet, just like on the show. And David didn't know he was going to do it. And David was just completely speechless when he came out. And he's wearing like the red velvet outfit, and it's got the white ruffles. And David's like, "You're wearing Shirley's outfit." It was so funny. You know, people couldn't stop laughing. They couldn't even get on with the show because the fans were just laughing so much. So Danny came out and he played the guitar, and they sang "Doesn't Somebody Want to Be Wanted" together. And I interviewed Danny the day after that happened. And so he was on such a high from that he was telling me the whole entire story, the behind the scenes story. And it was so interesting and so entertaining that I put it in the book.
Oh my goodness, that is wild.
Isn't that wild?
Oh, can I see that online? Is that online? Can I see that?
You can. I'm sure you can go to YouTube and find the clip of him in concert with David. I'll bet you it's on YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do some research because this is something I have to see.
You need to see it.
That is incredible. Oh my goodness. It
really was.
Oh man. I'm trying to think. What's Brian Forster like?
Brian Forster. When I interviewed Dave Madden, I have to tell you this story. Dave Madden, who played Reuben Kincaid, right? And one of the things he said about Brian Forster, which always was so funny that stayed with me, was that, you know, the guy's like over 50 years old and he still looks the same. Brian Forster still looks the same as he did when he was Chris Partridge. And that is true.
He does.
He does. And he is the friendliest guy. And he has a very vivid memory of what happened on the show because, you know, he was so young, and that stuff is, you know, when you're that age, you're so impressionable. Oh, and so he had so many stories to tell. He remembered so much. And I think he spent several hours with me on the phone.
Oh, man, that is so cool. Is there anything that he said that you can share with us here?
What's that?
Is there anything that he said to you that you can share? I'm kind of interested.
One of the things that jumps right out of my head is that he remembered being on the bus and shooting scenes on the bus. And they had equipment on the bus that, because they were shooting on the bus, they had all kinds of equipment on the bus, including lights that were very, very hot. Oh. And so I think it was his sneaker, his tennis shoe or something, almost caught on fire because it was sitting next to one of the lights. And he tells that story, and they were driving back and forth out on the road trying to get these shots, and it was so hot and they were all sweating. And so, yeah, that's one of the ones that jumps right out at me.
I don't have to deal with that problem.
No.
No, I don't have shoes.
You don't have shoes. Well, you know what? We'll have to get you a pair. What size do you wear? Barbie doll size, I expect.
What did you say?
Barbie doll size?
Take that back!
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'll forgive you. One time.
Okay.
We were just talking about Brian Forster, I believe. I think. Oh, I want to know okay, I'm not good at pronunciation here. Jeremy
Gelbwax.
Okay. All right. I want to know what he's like.
He was really nice. He lived when I interviewed him, he lived in New Orleans. And one of the things that was kind of wild was, you know, that the Partridge Family was based on the Cowsills,
Oh,
loosely based on the Cowsills, and they're a singing group, you know, and it's kind of funny, but Jeremy Gelbwax is good friends with the Cowsills in real life as an adult. So I thought that was kind of, you know, kind of a funny thing.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. And he was so young when he was on there. He had limited memories because he was only on the first season.
Right.
And he had, you know, limited memories, but he remembers vividly going down to Las Vegas to shoot some shots down there that they did for the pilot. And I think he said once that he remembers like pigging out at the buffet and getting sick.
That's not good.
Yeah, probably not his favorite memory, but he did remember that.
That's a really funny thing to have kept in mind, you know. It's just on a hit television show and
Yeah.
comes to mind. What about, well, I know Ricky, but I want to know, what did you think of Ricky Siegel?
You know, I loved Ricky Siegel. I thought, so back in the day, they would, you know, the Brady Bunch brought on Cousin Oliver, and the Partridge Family brought on Little Ricky.
Whoa, whoa. Did you just compare Ricky to
Well,
Oliver?
I'm going to contrast instead of compare.
That's good.
Right. Cousin Oliver was like pretty annoying, right? Ricky was cute. And, you know, him singing, and it didn't do anything to save the show really from the ratings. But when I think of Ricky now, I think of adult Ricky, and he's the nicest guy on the planet.
Exactly, right?
He really is.
Oh, he's so great. He's influenced me so greatly. He's a huge reason as to why I started doing this.
Really?
Yes, he was kind enough to do a couple of calls with me because I'm such a fan of him, and he would let me ask him anything in the entire world about OSR, you know, his channel now, or the Partridge Family and all of his memories from it and all that, and he would let me ask him anything. And it was the coolest thing because I got to become friends with him and learn so much about him. And I was thinking that there was so much about him that I didn't know, and I would love to just be able to share what I learned about these people that have inspired me so much with.
Oh, that's really nice to hear.
Yeah, he's the best, right?
Yeah, he is the best. I really like him. He's a great guy.
Oh, I'm gonna have to send him an email now. Oh, it's
Yes, you should.
Yeah, he's great. Who else am I thinking about here? Did we go through everybody?
Let's see, who have we not talked about? We haven't talked about Suzanne Crowe.
Oh my goodness, of course. How could I? Okay, yes, let's talk about her.
Well, another really well-spoken woman. You know, you think of her as the little girl, but when I talked to her, you know, she was an adult woman, and very well-spoken, very articulate about everything that she shared with me. We had talked many times on the phone, and she's somebody that I came to really call a friend. And it was very shocking when we lost her. It was 3 days before I launched my Kickstarter campaign. And it was very shocking because she was supportive of everything I was doing. She had some great memories to share. I think one of the things that that I remember about those conversations is her talking about the clothing line. There was a Partridge Family, you know, clothing line, and they would send her out to sort of model the clothes and sell them. And it was something that I didn't really know a lot about when I interviewed her. And that's one of the things that I, you know, always remember about those conversations with her.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's really neat. Oh gosh, I wish I could have gotten the chance to speak with her. I mean,
yeah, she was a very, very lovely person.
Oh, she seemed like it. Oh gosh. Oh, that's so sweet. Here, let's see. Oh, AnaLynne. All right, yeah. Okay, all right. I get to talk now. Thank you. How long did it take you to write your book?
Oh boy, a long time. So over the course of 5 years, it took me to write the book, but I wasn't working on it full time.
Oh, right.
So, you know, how long it all adds up to be, I don't really know, but it was a period of 5 years that I put it together.
Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine working so hard on that.
I know. Well, you know, it was great escape for me. It was fun. It wasn't work at all. You know, when you're sitting down and you're thinking about something for however many hours in a day, and it happens to be something that you really love, time just flies.
Oh yeah, actually, I understand that very much.
I'm sure you do.
What is it that goes into writing a book? How did you know where to start with it?
I didn't know where to start. I had never written a book before. I had done a lot of writing, but never wrote a book. And I just kind of started out thinking, I wonder if I can. And so I just started tinkering around with it. And, you know, the first phase of it was interviewing. So I did that for a very long time and gathered all the interviews. Then they were all recorded. So then I had to transcribe the interviews and clean them up into complete sentences because, you know, people talk differently than when we read what they say. So, you know, you have to put the periods in and you have to decide where the sentences begin and end, that kind of thing. There was all that part of it. Then there was the hard research where I would go to the library and look up, you know, magazines and look for articles from back in the day. And I live, you know, in Ohio. I live very close to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, and they have this fantastic archives there. So I went there, and I was there a lot. I probably was there 3 times a week over the course of 9 months or maybe more, going through old articles and gathering research that way. So then I would take that and I'd put that in there, and then I'd start to block out, you know, create an outline and figure out where I wanted to put what and how I was going to tell the story. And that's kind of how it all, you know, that's kind of the process. That's how it all came together.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like a blast.
It was a lot of fun. And it was hard to give up. It was hard to actually go publish because I just couldn't let go. I couldn't stop tinkering with it.
Oh gosh. You know what? I can kind of understand that. Every once in a while, I'll get into a video where I'm editing the green screen and all that, and it's, you know, I don't really want to save the whole project. I want to keep going.
I know what you mean, and you can get so caught up in making it more and more perfect, and never get it done because you just can't let go. So, you know, you get to a point where you have to just kind of like birth the baby, as they say.
Okay, that's really amusing. So you did interviews.
Yes.
What is it that goes into an interview?
Yes, maybe I should take lessons from you, actually, for my next book.
Hey, I mean, I don't know what I have to offer, but I dig.
Well, you're doing this fine. You know, I don't know how it works for you, but, you know, for me, it's just natural curiosity. I knew what to ask because I was curious. And I know, you know, I'm a fan, so I know what the fans wanted to know. And so I knew what question to ask. I knew the things that I was interested in, the fans were also interested in.
I never thought about the other fans. Selfish. Nice.
Yes, that is how that works.
Oh, wow. I think I might have to take a whole new approach to this. Oh, okay. All right. I'm thinking now.
Trust me, your approach is brilliant. I would not change a thing.
Thank you.
It's true.
I feel so special. Oh, actually, I think he's talking to me. Right.
Right, yeah.
Okay. You seem like a pretty busy guy. So when you aren't working, what are you up to?
When I'm not, well, what am I up to? More work. What am I up to for fun?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. I hang out with my friends a lot. I like to watch old TV.
Oh, wait, I'm listening.
Right, the Partridge Family, and pretty much you name it. I love vintage TV.
Me too.
You too? Well, of course. Look at you. What are some of your favorite shows?
Oh my goodness, I could rattle off a million. Well, obviously the Partridge Family ranks at the top. The Monkees, I think you already know that. What else? Taxi. I love Taxi. Cheers, Frasier. Yeah.
Wow, all the way from the 70s all the way through the 90s, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of where I live. I mean, I've also gone back into the 50s. Circus Boy is pretty good. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm a Mickey
Wow.
fan, so.
You have a broader a range of exposure than even I do.
I just think about people more than I do the shows. You know, I like Mickey, so I'm gonna watch what he does.
I love it.
Thank you again, me. You weren't even in that. So
AnaLynne, is she stealing your thunder?
she is. This is my show.
Tell her to quit that.
Quit it. I could just put her down, but that might end the interview.
It could
What
be
is
a
your
problem.
favorite Partridge Family song?
Oh boy. I get asked that a lot, and I have to stick with what I always say. It's hard to pick one. It's really hard to pick one, but I would say it is the Christmas song, My Christmas Card to You.
Oh, I never even considered that.
Oh, it's such a great song, and I think it should be played on radio stations every year. It should be a Christmas standard. It's My Christmas Card to You is just a beautiful, wonderful holiday song written by Tony Romeo, who also wrote I Think I Love You and many of the other big Partridge Family songs. Yeah, that's my favorite.
That's a great song.
There's a lot of great ones though, Point Me in the Direction of Albuquerque, and that's a terrific song, right? I Think I Love You. Who can live without that song?
Oh, you can't. You simply can't.
Can't.
Oh my goodness. I think I'll Meet You Halfway has to be my favorite.
It's funny you say that, because back in the day when David Cassidy was asked what his favorite song was, at that point in time, he chose I'll Meet You Halfway.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, that's right. He knows good music.
I think the piano part in that, along with his voice and the way it just escalates throughout the song, you start out real soft, and then I just think it's brilliant.
I know. I love that song too. It's such a beautiful song.
Do you have a favorite album?
Yeah. Okay. So before I answer that one, there were 8 studio albums and 2 hits albums. So I have a theory. Your favorite doesn't always mean that it was the best. Your favorite is your favorite for a lot of reasons, different reasons, other than maybe being the best album. So I have an idea on what I think is the best album versus what my favorite one is.
Well, let's hear both.
So my favorite album is the Partridge Family Crossword Puzzle, which was the second to the last album. And the reason it's my favorite is because it's the first one that I ever had.
Oh,
Yeah, that my mother bought for me. And again, I didn't find the Partridge Family till the 3rd season of the show. So, but I would say the greatest album is probably the Sound Magazine.
Yeah, I think
that's probably the greatest one.
Every song on that.
Every song, every single one of them. David Cassidy once said that you could probably make a case for any one of the first 3 albums to be the greatest.
He's correct.
He is correct. I agree.
Yeah, I was tied up between these 2 for a long time, Up to Date and Sound Magazine, but I'm gonna have to say, now that I have it in vinyl, Sound Magazine probably tops Up to Date. But don't tell it. Oh, I just hit AnaLynne, but don't tell it.
I won't. It's my secret.
I tend to talk to inanimate objects.
Well, we all have our things.
Yeah. I just want to make a career out of mine.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. But I think second side of Sound Magazine, I think that might be the greatest. I don't even just arrangement of songs put together on an album. I mean, the entire album's fantastic, but
that was the first album so I interviewed John Baylor, who did all the vocal arrangements, and he talked a lot about the individual songs and the albums. And one of the things that always stays with me about the Sound Magazine is that he said by the time, initially they were doing songs for the TV show and they were trying to figure out their identity. By the time they were doing Sound Magazine, they went into the studio with the idea that they were making an album. So it was purely about the music, and they weren't really thinking about the TV show. So they made a record, they made an album, and then the songs would be then fit into the TV show. The first 2 albums, there was a little more focus in music for the television.
Oh, yeah. I can actually understand that. I'm hearing it, and it's not playing. That's the scary part. But yeah, it was more oriented toward the show. I think you can tell the difference. I think that's what makes the sound seem so much more broad and definite in that third one.
If you listen to the first album, you'll hear a lot of reverb, and you'll hear a lot of what they call the wall of sound, which was a phrase that was coined, back then. That sound, and that first album, there's a lot of experimenting going on. The second album is very, the way it's mixed is very up close, for lack of a better way of describing it, because they were trying to create music. They were trying to release an album to match what we would see on TV. So they were trying to create the sound of them playing in the garage, very present, very present. And by the time you get to the third album, it kind of all comes together, and they figured it all out, and now they know what to do, to just go in there and to make the greatest record possible. They knew what to do.
Yeah, I see what you mean. That evolution is very present. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's pretty cool.
It is.
Okay.
If you listen to those 3 albums, you'll see the evolution.
Yeah. Oh, I think I might just listen to the 3 albums now, consecutively.
Sounds good to me.
Your Partridge knowledge is the best thing ever.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
That's the coolest thing. I think we should talk more often. I mean, I've been looking for somebody to talk about the Partridge Family with.
Oh, anytime. I'd love to talk about the Partridge Family. I never get tired of it.
Oh, good. Me neither. All right. So we're getting close to the end of what I have.
Oh, no.
AnaLynne, so do you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the people out there?
Words of wisdom.
This always freaks people out.
I would say this as words of wisdom. If you're searching for answers in life, write to AnaLynne. If you want to know what to do next with your life, write to AnaLynne. If you want to know good music and you just need a little bit of an opinion, ask AnaLynne.
Oh my goodness.
She's got all the answers, right?
I do. I think you are brilliant for saying so. Not as brilliant as I am, but I'll give you credit.
Almost. I can't quite live up to you.
It's okay. Nobody can.
Yeah, yeah, I can tell.
Oh my gosh. That is the best I think anybody's ever done.
Well, you do remember I was an actor, right?
Oh my God. We're editing that out.
Not a famous one, but nonetheless.
Oh, that is so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, so one last question for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Where can people follow you?
Where can they follow me? On Facebook. I have a website for the book called When We're Singin'. And I've got my own website, or my, not website, my own page, right? I'm losing my lingo here. I have my own Facebook page, When We're Singin'. We got the website, whenwe'resingin.com. And then I've got Johnny Ray Miller on Facebook. And you can actually find the Kickstarter. I guess you can follow people on their Kickstarter thing too. I didn't know that. But my Kickstarter campaign is still up there, and I guess you can follow those things now. So yeah, you can, any one of those 4, you can find me.
Oh, groovy. Wow.
Anyone looking for the book can pretty much Google Partridge Family book, and they're going to find it.
Well, they better do it.
They better do it, right? Here, shameless promotion.
No,
When We're Singin'.
Wow, that's a really awesome cover. Look at that.
I guess it's upside. I guess it's like backwards on the screen, huh?
Is it? I can see it correctly.
Can
Are
you
my
see it?
albums backwards?
What's that? No, your albums look normal.
Oh, to me they look backwards. Oh, isn't
Maybe
that
they
weird?
are backwards. Oh, I guess they are. Wow.
I'll do some editing. I'll flip things around. It'll be good.
Oh, you're probably genius at that, I bet.
I don't know about that.
Way better. I can't believe how fast you can whip those, like you whip that link to me in like 2 seconds. I don't even know how to do that.
Oh, I just copied the link, you know. It says copy link. It's pretty good. I could show you my ways.
God, I'm so technically challenged. I hate that. It makes me feel old.
Are you kidding? People come up to me in school and say things that I don't even understand because apparently it's teen lingo.
And you don't get it.
I don't. I can't do the whole shorthand notation thing. I can't understand it. What is TTYL?
Oh, even I know that one.
Oh no.
You don't know that? Talk to you later.
Oh, I thought you were just ending this here. Oh,
AnaLynne, you got to give her some lessons.
Apparently I do. I'm really bad with that. Someone came up to me in the hallway and asked me if I were venting, and then said, "Okay, boomer."
I don't know that one.
I don't know either.
You got me on that
"What?"
one.
And then they walked away laughing.
Oh, geez.
I need some kind of link into the word. I just don't understand it. Okay,
What you do is
here, I'm going to hit recording, and then
you give them your link to your show, and then you say, you know, right back at you.
Oh my gosh, that's such a great idea. All right, so thank you, Johnny Ray Miller, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Goodbye. Goodbye, AnaLynne.
Bye.
Send me a Christmas card, will you?
My Christmas card to you, Johnny.
Oh, thank you.
Beyond the clouds and the rain, a place where your sadness drains, where the sun peers over your sadness and your pain. There is no gravity, yet within this cavity, you make your own truth. Your dreams will come true if your mind isn't glued to the fact that life is so blue. Your dreams cannot stay if you don't repay yourself for making it through. The path to making your dreams come true. Beyond the clouds and the rain, a place where your sadness drains, where the sun peers over your sadness and your pain. There is no gravity, yet within this cavity, you make your own truth. Your dreams will come true if your mind isn't glued to the fact that life is so blue. Your dreams cannot stay if you don't repay yourself for making it through. The path to making your dreams come true.